Welcome to Movie Dumpster Season 8, Episode 6. Today we're talking about Night Killer from 1990, directed by Claudio Fragasso and Bruno Mattei. Is this the Italian Nightmare on Elm Street or something completely different? I'm Joe Lascola.
I'm Sean O'Rourke.
And I'm Christina Acevedo, founder of Girls Like Horror.
Welcome to the dumpster. So we are down here in the dungeon with Christina Acevedo from Girls Like Horror. How the hell are you? How you doing?
I'm doing great now that I'm here.
Welcome to the dungeon.
Yeah.
AKA heaven.
Yes. Well, you passed the cherub on the way in. You guys know what I'm talking about.
The pearly gates, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the pearly gates.
Well, the crusty gates. Yeah, maybe. Something like that.
Yeah, it's crusty. Tastes good, though. Funfetti, I think we said. Go back. It's an old joke. Well, welcome, Christina, to the madness.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming down. We really appreciate it. We got to meet you at Tapes from the Crypt event, or a Crypt video event, rather.
Right.
Yeah.
And we hit it off, and it turns out you listened to the show, you knew the show, so we were like, oh, let's have you on. This is going to be a blast. Yeah. And you suggested Night Killer, so I was like, this is perfect. This is perfect, because we haven't done Troll 2 or Monster Dog or Crawlers or anything like that, so it's like, this is a perfect time to talk about Claudio Fragasso. It's going to be great.
Yes, I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked.
Yeah, that's crazy. 8 years in. I feel like we say that often when we kind of hit these milestone directors or movies. It's like, wow, how have we not done that yet? But here we are, once again.
We're even going to get a little Bruno Mattei up in here. But yeah, Christina, tell us a little about Girls Like Horror. What you got cooking? What's it all about?
Yeah, so Girls Like Horror is an all-inclusive film club we just launched in the end of September. So we're fairly new, and it all started because I wanted to see horror films with my friends, mostly my girlfriends. I was going to a lot of films alone and just wanted someone to talk to after the film, and that's what I enjoy most, and that's obviously what you both enjoy a lot as well.
Yeah. I was going to say, sometimes that's the best part, not even the movie, the conversation after.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, sharing the love for it.
In the parking lot, right?
Exactly, yeah. Smoking cigs, decompressing.
Getting that joint out from under the...
now I want a cigarette. I haven't smoked in like 10 years.
I know. I'm like, what did we just see? What just happened? So the first one we saw was The Substance, and it was just, I went with a couple of my friends, and it was not exclusive to just girls, but the name of the club came about because I feel like there's a certain mentality that comes with that name. And also I really wanted to highlight the female protagonists in the film who, have endured, whether it be the character's storyline or the actresses themselves. I just really related to the themes in horror, and so I wanted to highlight that, and also all the amazing female horror film directors, producers, writers. And so we strive to see films that have really powerful themes that relate to women or that are directed, written, produced by women. But we see all types of films. I joke, we saw Terrifier 3. We saw Blood Rage. We go outside of the quote box. All that to say is Girls Like Horror a lot, and we're a thriving club, mostly based in Center City as of right now, and all are welcome. All genders are welcome, and we have a couple events per month, so
you guys
we're
are doing
pretty busy.
All kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, we've been busy. We've been really lucky that so many people are responding well and want to get involved, and they really understand the main mission of the club, which is to bring community through our love of horror films. So the main purpose of our events is to kind of either have a mixer before or after the films, and people can mix and mingle. And I've seen people come to the events and alone. They've come to the events alone, and they've left with 3 new friends, and then they come back with those friends, and that's been really cool.
That's what it's all about, bringing the horror community together,
Yes.
So we're a big proponent of that. So I think what you're doing is really awesome, especially giving women a bigger voice. Instead of just 2 white guys sitting on a podcast talking about movies. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. Well, as a woman, I'm a huge fan of the podcast. So
Well, I appreciate that. But we've had so much fun just talking about movies and stuff like that. So that's rad. We love what you're doing. What shows you coming up? You have anything coming up? You want to tell the listeners and viewers?
Yes, we have some exciting things coming up. So not only do we see films as a group, but we do activities as a group. So our next event is actually on April 12th. We're going to the Mount Vernon Cemetery. The organizer there, Brandon, is amazing, and he's leading us on a true horror tour of Mount Vernon Cemetery, which is right across the street from Laurel Hill Cemetery, if you're not familiar. And he goes in depth about all the different graves and the stories and, you know, horrors behind the cemetery, weird visitors they get at night. And then he hosts a trivia with prizes. And we're also having someone come and take tintype photographs, which are these spooky vintage photographs.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And Movie John will be there. We partnered with them a bunch.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. They're a movie zine based in Philly, also run by a woman. And they'll be there slinging zines. And then our next event is another party we're co-hosting with Riot Nerd.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. The party's called Salvation at Underground Arts, and that's May 31st. And so if you're a Girls Like Horror Club member, you can get discount tickets. You just have to sign up for our newsletter. We'll give you the promo code. And we also offer promo codes to different screenings at the Philadelphia Film Society. I have to mention them. We've partnered with them a bunch, and they've been so supportive, so helpful. And their programming is on point. It's been on point. So it's aligned with the group's interests as well. So.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Where can everybody find like more information? Like, are you on like the social medias and stuff like that?
Yeah. So we're on Instagram, Girls Like Horror, our website, girlslikehorror.com. Sign up for our newsletter. We send them out every week with a ton of info, different events. We plug other events. We have a lot of friends who do micro cinema, clubs and around the city and also like outside of the city, like y'all and Tapes from the Crypt. And we're just here to support. Like it's not no gatekeeper energy. We're
I love that.
Love that.
Hate gatekeeping.
Yeah. No gatekeeping. Anytime anyone wants me to share a film or an event, I'm happy to do so in our newsletter. We have a really growing community of very active, enthusiast film lovers. So
that's incredible. That's so awesome. So, go like Girls Like Horror.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go out to some shows. They're really cool.
Yeah, come hang with us.
Yeah, support the horror community.
The last one I was at was the Snake Night, Anaconda, and some other like Hugh Grant snake movie.
Yeah, Lair of the White Worm.
I am so upset that I missed that because I was sick, because I love Lair of the White Worm.
Yeah.
That's like one of my faves, and I really wanted to do it on the show, and I was like, damn, they showed it.
I'm just saying they're fun. I've been at a couple. Yeah. We've been at different events together. It's always a good time.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, before we get into the Italian ripoffs, if you want some more Movie Dumpster content, you can head over to patreon.com/Movie Dumpster. You get an ad-free audio version of the show for as little as $2 a month, and you get some other great stuff at the $5 and $10 tiers. We also have a YouTube membership plan that you can do, which is kind of like Patreon Lite. So you're not going to get the physical items like the T-shirts or the stickers or the pin or anything like that, but you're going to get commentary tracks. You're going to get mini-sodes, junk mails, all kinds of good stuff like that. So if that's something you want to do, help support your favorite show.
And if you're watching here on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe if you aren't already. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast app, leave us at 5 stars and a review if you got the time. It really helps get the show out to more people, into more eardrums, eyeballs, and everything in between. Let's grow this dumpster community, get more folks in here.
We tell you every time, those reviews help more than anything. It helps the show grow and get more eyes on it. So if you can do that, that'd be great. But if you want some other stuff, like maybe you want to get something from the store or see where the dumpster boards are going to be, you can go to moviedumpsterpodcast.com. We got a calendar there to show you where we're going to be, what events we got coming up. We're going to be at CVW Crypt Video Wrestling on April 4th and 5th. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be at Neshaminy Creek Brewing in Croydon, PA. There's going to be special guests, Lard Humongous, and the legendary Al Snow will be there, as well as a bunch of different vendors, and there's going to be a movie screening as well, so don't miss it. Come check it out. But yeah, moviedumpsterpodcast.com. Check it out.
So before we get into the actual movie, I'm going to talk about I was going to say elephant in the room, but the Uncle Grimacy in the room.
Yeah, we see.
Let me move this microphone for 1 second.
Who's your uncle?
Who's your uncle? The shirt arrived. We already did our St. Patty's Day episode, but the fucking shirt arrived actually after St. Patty's Day, the Tuesday after St. Patty's. But for anyone watching every episode, there it is, the Uncle Grimacy shirt.
We got it for you. You got the Shamrock Shake on lock. There you go.
A little late. I think you got to go into the bottom of McDonald's dumpster to get any Shamrock Shake, scoop it out, and say, you know what? Lubden put it in there. I need to drink it. It can't be wasted, much like Uncle Grimacy would do. And, that was pretty much the bit. Just had to get that out there, guys. Audio listeners, sorry you're missing out on a good one here.
We'll post a picture on Instagram. So yeah, Claudio Fragasso. right? He's best well known for Troll 2. That's like his big movie that everybody's probably seen. But he has a bunch of other flicks that he had done with the help of Bruno Mattei. So Bruno Mattei, I want to talk about a little bit about first because I feel like that's pertinent, like the first thing to talk about before we get into this.
Yeah. The other director.
Yeah.
So if Mario Bava is the Alfred Hitchcock of Italy,
Where you going with that?
Bruno Mattei is the David DiCoteau of Italy.
Okay. Yeah. No, I could see that comparison. Yeah.
Is he British? David DiCoteau?
I think a lot of people say David Dakota. I say David DiCoteau. He's the guy who did like Sorority Babes in the Slime Bowl-O-Rama.
Okay.
And he did one of the Puppet Master movies.
Nice.
I think he did Puppet Master 3.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But he's usually doing some kind of low budget sleazy type
Love it.
deal.
Yeah, that was the bit, I think, right?
Yeah. That was the joke. So yeah, Bruno Mattei worked a lot with Claudio, and Claudio and Bruno were friends for a long time. So Claudio was kind of like his partner, assistant director type deal. But Bruno is most famously known for things like famous ripoffs, like Robowar, which is like Italian Predator, or like Shocking Dark, Terminator 2, which is like the Terminator ripoff movie. But they teamed up for a lot of different things, and they co-directed a lot of different things as well. I think Claudio started doing his projects, I think, around like Zombie 3 or 4. So Lucio Fulci makes Zombie 3 and then leaves. I believe they're shooting in the Philippines, and then he left, and then Bruno Mattei took over. So that's where that went.
Insane.
Okay, yeah, rip-off of a rip-off with a rip-off guy. A lot of ripping off.
Well, they both did Hell of the Living Dead together, which is a straight rip-off of George Romero and Lucio Fulci movies. So it's like, we were talking about this before, like, it's also the Cruel Jaws thing, because Bruno Mattei does Cruel Jaws, where, like, you have Great White or The Last Shark, and then he takes that movie and does a rip-off of an Italian rip-off of Jaws. So it's like this rabbit hole inception of rip-offs.
I wonder if he ever got a call from Roger Corman and just heard clapping on the line.
Right.
Oh, I love what you're doing. The movies are bad, but oh my God, genius.
They're making money. We're going to talk about how they relate to other bigger franchises, especially the U.S. movies, and how they take their titles in a second. But I wanted to kind of get through, a little bit of their backgrounds.
Yeah.
So yeah, Claudio also directs Monster Dog and some other stuff that you guys might be familiar with. But we're going to talk about those in a little bit, because I also want to highlight his wife, Rosella Drudi. Now, she was a writer for a long time in the industry, especially in Italy. But a lot of it she wasn't credited for because she wasn't a man. And the producers were like, no, we can't put this on the thing. It's not going to sell right or what have you.
I almost said that, but I didn't want somebody in the comments saying, why did he defend this woman? I mean, that's happened before.
In short, well, fuck you if you even said that. What are you talking about?
That makes sense, though, at the time, especially Italy. Holy shit, they were pretty bad with that.
So I don't really have any more insight to that. I don't know if you do, but that's just what that's basically what I read, and that was basically to put a fine tip point on it. That's what it was.
Right, and I'm just trying to understand all of this, like hesitation even to reveal his Italian name when the entire crew is Italian. There's Italian names, all producers and whatnot, and then
Drake Floyd was his
Clyde Anderson. There's a couple, and I was
Mm-hmm.
really confused because Bruno Mattei has a bunch of aliases too, and I remember just Googling like why do they have aliases, and like writing on Instagram, if anyone knows, please let me know what is up with all these aliases. And it's literally the selling point of having an Italian last name.
I was gonna say, is it like an Alan Smithy? They're embarrassed by it because he does the same thing in Troll 2. It's a different name.
Well, it's so it doesn't alienate U.S. audiences, and they're also using titles like Troll and Evil Dead and House, and probably they don't want to get sued.
Yeah. I mean, that's the actual answer. But I was just thinking about that. Yeah.
Or it's more appealing to an Italian audience to have an American name. I don't know.
What was that, Japan or something with the Godzilla movies? There was like, Tony talked about this a while ago on his channel over on Hack the Movies, but it was like they just threw Frankenstein in the title because it sold well or some shit.
Right, but that was for U.S., wasn't it?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Same idea as the point.
Yeah. So Rosella was Claudio's wife, and unfortunately she had passed away really recently, I think a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is pretty terrible. Or I think at this point it might have been like a few weeks.
But
a
very
month.
recent. Wow.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
super
then.
recent. I think she was only 61, which makes it even worse because she was so young. But yeah, she was Claudio's partner. She was with him to the bitter end. She was his partner in all the films he directed. She wrote a lot of stuff for Claudio and Bruno Mattei. She wrote Hell the Living Dead, Monster Dog, Troll 2, Zombie 3, Robowar, Crawlers, and Beyond Darkness was another one that I'm going to talk about in a little bit.
You're pointing at Evil Dead 5,
I'm pointing at Evil Dead 5.
Okay.
We'll get to it. I'm not quite there yet. But yeah, she's a very prolific Italian screenwriter, especially for a lot of these low-budget Italian films that we've come to love over the years. So she's a very important piece to the Claudio Fragasso puzzle.
Yeah,
you know,
and it was exciting to me that when I found out, and I don't really remember when I found out that a woman was writing these films because she is not credited.
No.
But either is Claudio Fragasso, and
No.
it's very confusing if you're on Letterboxd or on your computer trying to figure out who made what film, and all the films have 5 different names and so on and so forth. But I love it. I love it. I love that a woman was writing these style of films and the content and everything just made me really happy because I love these types of films and I feel weird as a woman sometimes liking them.
I could see that. Yeah. Like
But
the
I do.
stigma because of what happens in some of these films. Yeah.
but it's even a stigma too for us because we're like, oh, we love that film, and they're like, you mean the film about where this girl gets raped by this killer guy? And you're like, well, yeah, but
Right.
Well, that hasn't not come up before, right?
Right. But that's not the reason why we like it,
yeah.
clearly. So I think that's really cool. So yeah, justice for Rosella.
Yes.
You know,
Seriously.
Severin Films had put out a bunch of their catalog, and within those films or releases, there's interviews and all kinds of stuff, behind the scenes stuff with her and Claudio. And even in the Best Worst Movie, which is the Troll 2 documentary that Mike Stevenson and George Hardy put together, they're in that as well. Maybe not represented in the best light. They kind of make him out to be a jerk in that. And I think
Context is everything.
Context is everything. So his heart's in the right place for sure.
Sure.
And I think he is. I mean, the duo of Claudio and Rosella are. A staple in the genre, especially the B genre. So we grew up loving these films, and they've stood the test of time. I mean, there was like whole showings around Troll 2 and all that kind of stuff. So
Well, I mentioned that earlier. I mean, I haven't actually gone to one of these showings, but I was reading people saying very similar to what they do for Rocky Horror Picture Show. A lot of audience interaction because people kind of get the
get the
Rocky
joke.
Horror, a very different reason why people are into it, but they get it.
Yeah, I would love to see this film we're about to talk about.
Oh
with
my
a group.
God.
Oh, instead of Troll 2, that'd be interesting.
Do you think that would be a showing?
All 3 together. No, yeah.
You think that'd be a showing for girls like horror? That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Like a chart. How
Troll
quickly do
2.
people walk out of the first movie, second, or third, right?
Hey,
Let me tell you
not
something.
my people.
When you go see Night Killer, you know what the fuck you're in for, okay?
I would hope so. Yeah. You better fucking. You're gonna know after this review.
Yeah, just see the poster.
Yeah, that's a good point. Right.
So yeah, like I said, Severin had put out a lot of their catalog, which I'm going to talk about too, which is funny. So I'm going to piggyback off that with the Evil Dead 5 DVD that's in front of me right here. So Night Killer, like his other films, Claudio has made, Troll 2 was originally called Goblin and then was called Troll 2. And then you got Crawlers, which was also sold as Troll 3, which has nothing to do with it either. So Troll 2 has nothing to do with the original John Carl Buechler Troll.
I didn't know it went as deep as Troll 3 got involved. I didn't realize
Wait,
that.
I never knew that.
Yeah, and then Quest for the Mighty Sword actually is not Troll 4, but contains one of the Troll 2 like animatronic masks in that movie.
God. Hopefully it's not that bad one with the eyes attached to it. It's like, what were they thinking?
It's the good one at the end that's like, "Do you want some, Joshua?" Like,
Oh, right,
yeah,
yeah.
like
The one
the one good animatronic
I
in
was
that
gonna say
movie.
the one that's kind of if you don't have a side by side, you could be like, yeah, I remember Phil Fondacaro and Troll, and then you see the side by side, you're like, wait a fucking second.
That is certainly no Torok.
Yeah.
So yeah, with Evil Dead 5, that's Beyond Darkness. That's the film Beyond Darkness.
Okay.
Now, the reason it's called Evil Dead 5 is because
Evil
this
Dead
will
was
answer
very
your
popular.
question. So in Italy, there is a series called the La Casa series. And there, I believe there's like 10 of those movies. And at some point, well, actually, the first La Casa movie was called Evil Dead in Italy. So it went Evil Dead 2, so La Casa 1, 2, Evil Dead 1 and 2. And then we finally got up to Evil Dead 5, which is Beyond Darkness. But it borrows from the Evil Dead franchise and the Sean Cunningham House franchise. So
Where's Gramps?
So the next film in the La Casa franchise is called House, the Second Story.
What did I just...
Witch's house too.
Where's fucking Pippi? Where's the beer? Dig this fucking zombie up, this mummy.
So that one's got the craziest one, and I'm building up to this because
The MDU is real. Is that what you're about
the
to say?
MDU is real, but I'm building up to Night Killer.
Okay.
Because I needed to preface it with Troll 2 and Evil Dead stuff, so it makes a little bit more sense.
I was gonna say we do need that. You're right.
Yeah. So this film, Night Killer, it was shot by Claudio. It was directed by Claudio, but Bruno Mattei had come in to do pickups, add gore and stuff to it because the studio didn't like the cut that he had. So they had Bruno Mattei come in, they recut it, repackaged it, and then put it out as Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 in Italy.
Oh, God. Well, it's all his family, Joe.
So they took the title.
It hurts my brain.
Yeah.
So Non aprite che la porta
Right.
is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre name in Italy. So this is the third
Right.
one.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
And then it's called Night Killer in the States. So if you picked up the Severin Blu-ray disc, they actually had a slip. So that has a slipcover of Evil Dead 5, and then they had a slipcover that said Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, which was kind of fun.
Oh, okay. Like you could buy either option kind of thing?
They
just came with
they
it?
leaned into it.
Sure.
So like if you take that off, it doesn't say Evil Dead 5, it says Beyond Darkness.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
you know, it's like a fun little thing.
Yeah, that is fun.
So they didn't think that their film was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. This is just a language.
It's just
Release.
nobody's gonna watch this. Let's put a different name on it. Everybody knows Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Everybody knows Evil Dead. Let's just put it in
I
there.
was gonna say that Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 is in a swamp. Oh, that makes no sense. Ours is the real thing.
Yeah.
Could you imagine looking up Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 and renting Night Killer from the store and being like, "Huh, where's the chainsaw?"
Oh God, this is like we haven't mentioned it in a while, but there's something else we covered a while ago where the names were different like this. It's like that person in the apocalypse after we're all dead finds the fucking DVD set, but they have like all the wrong movies. But they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, obviously, and they're very confused.
Clearly, yeah.
After they find a DVD player or VHS player, I don't know.
So the Italian title of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 translates to "Don't open this door." 3. Just letting you guys know.
Oh, what about Don't Open That Door 1 and 2?
That was for the La Casa movies.
Okay. Oh, right. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense then. Yeah.
Does it make sense yet?
No, I'm just saying that because I want to move on. But yeah, no, it makes no fucking sense at all.
Yeah, we need to move on.
We need to get on. Okay. All right. So with that being said, let's talk about Night Killer, aka Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Sure.
In Italy, question mark.
Yeah. Not La Casa Italia.
No. La Casa Leatherface?
I don't know. La Casa, the house,
Yeah.
Italy.
The house-
I don't know.
Yeah.
Certo. I don't know.
Manja. That's what I know. My grandma, she beat that
nice
into my
one.
head.
Bene.
Yeah, manja.
So as a guest, we usually have our guests plot crunch the movie. Would you like to, in a couple sentences, what is this movie about?
Oh my gosh.
That is a fucking talk about a lament configuration you got to figure out.
I just don't know which plot part to start from. All right, I'll try. Try. A killer on the loose, targeting women in Virginia Beach. Has found the one, Melanie, don't even know her last name. Melanie Beck, right, Mrs. Beck. Yeah, has found Melanie Beck and causes extreme trauma and amnesia on Miss Beck, who struggles throughout the film. This is a really hard one to plot crunch. I was not prepared for this.
All good. I mean, I think the only other major thing is that the killer is this guy with a mask and a fucking claw appendage.
Yeah.
Who is also killing
There's
people.
a killer on the loose, and
It was kind of a trick question because I wanted to see what you would say.
The truth comes out.
I don't know how to plot crunch it without giving too much
That's
away,
true.
right?
It's very difficult, yeah.
How do we talk about her captor? She's being held captive, but
Against her will.
by the killer.
Yeah. Question mark. There's a lot of red herrings in this movie, and then when it finally unfolds, you're like, really? That's okay? Sure.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those when we get to the end, I'm like, okay, well, that actually did make sense eventually, but it took until the last 10 fucking minutes for it to make sense.
So that's why I said, it's not just a regular slasher, and it's not necessarily Giallo just because it's Italian, but it does play out mostly like a Giallo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about this a little before the recording because you had said it's kind of like a Giallo, and I was just like, "Bah, bah, 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 bah." No, it's not. And it's like, well, actually, it kind of is, but it's missing most of the beats I enjoy in Giallo. It's like, well, we got the guy in the glove, and you can't see his face, and he's killing people, so it counts.
Again, if you take Blood and Black Lace, which is like Bava,
Well,
like
again,
Hitchcock, like again,
Probably the best Giallo ever, but okay.
Bava to Hitchcock, and then Claudio Fragasso to David DiCatto.
So the bottom of the barrel. Okay.
Yeah.
And her
Basically what it is.
tragicness feels Giallo to me.
Yeah,
a bit.
100%.
True, that
And
is true.
there is a big crime element of the film because it's a whodunit
Right.
kind of thing. It's not just necessarily a slasher. There's a crime thing involved. There's obscene phone calls involved.
Right.
It's much more than just like a Jason on the loose.
3 twists.
3 twists. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you are right. It is. It's just not what I think of at first.
It's mostly a giallo,
Yeah.
and which is funny because I think this is the only one that Claudia has done of this type of movie, which is kind of interesting to me. So we open up on this dance rehearsal studio.
Cold open.
I forgot my Spanx.
Like it just opens with this, and
No black screen. First second, they're dancing.
it is a crime. This should be on like TikTok or some shit, right? This dance.
Yeah.
I think it would go over pretty well.
At first, the instructor's like, "This is going great. This is amazing," and then this woman comes in late and she like loses her cool.
Yeah.
At the third fucking time.
Well, it's funny because she's just like, and this fucking music is blaring, and I'm like, how does this woman hear her? Like, excuse me.
She's like, "Oh yeah, you're doing great. A little bit more to the left, a little bit to the right. Oh, I love what you're doing, Anthony. Way of the late person."
She stops what they're doing so she can be like, hey, I'm late and I need to go change. Why wouldn't you just change and come and dance?
Yeah.
But anyway,
Plot.
so she goes to change, and you get this first glimpse at the killer with the shadow, and you're like, holy shit, is that Freddy Krueger? Like, what's going on here? Because it's a dude with like claws on his hands.
Yeah.
You know?
This is like a tyrant claw, man. Like they're going for Freddy. Obviously, Resident Evil, well, 1, it didn't exist yet. But man, I can't stop thinking about that tyrant hand with the long fingernails.
Sure. Yeah.
I heard that they blatantly were like, we want to make a film that looks like Freddy Krueger. Let's find a Freddy Krueger mask because that film sold.
I'm totally convinced that is true.
Do you think Wes Craven was at all angry? I mean, I think he actually stole some ideas from this movie later on. But like when he saw it, he's like, I just fucking did that. A New Nightmare. The timeline might not match up, but
No, that's like 5 years later, I think. But there's a Mexican horror movie or a Spanish horror movie.
Right.
I forget what it's called. I have
Mahakal.
it. No, that's Indian.
Oh, that's Indian. Oh, there's so many
Well,
rip-offs.
there's Mahakal too.
Yeah.
There's
I think
that.
they just screened it at the Film Society.
I think so too. I forget the name. Yes, Death Trap or something, something like that. Yeah, I have it upstairs. I watched it. We got to cover that one too.
I mean, Freddy's very popular.
It's
so.
I know, but it's basically like Spanish Freddy Krueger, which is pretty great. So you have an Indian Freddy Krueger, you have a Spanish Freddy Krueger, and now you have an Italian Freddy Krueger.
Hey, sure. It's Freddy Krueger. Again, didn't exist yet, but it's like Freddy Krueger and the Haunted Mask, which Christina's wearing a shirt of, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Like they had a baby or they fell in the fucking toxic waste that the Toxic Avenger was created in. And then that masked claw someone found that was like, shit, this looks creepy. I'm going to wear this.
Dude, this looks like somebody took a stunt mask from American Werewolf in London, like like the werewolf Nazis, and like put it in a radiator, and then the guy put it on.
That's probably what actually happened, right?
But they found it at a thrift store because it's literally missing one eye.
They like glued this other one on there.
And they only found one glove.
It was, right? Well, where's the other one?
I don't know.
He didn't have the money. When he made the mold for it fucking broke after.
Well, it's like Giallo Michael Jackson with like one leather gloved hand and one like monster hand.
So maybe that was intentional, the leather glove.
Right, MJ.
Giallo.
We had to hit that home.
Yeah.
And he's got the trench coat and everything.
Oh my God, yes.
In fact, we don't ever get an angle below his knee, so maybe he's been doing the moonwalk the whole time.
Oh, we get to see his shoes.
I saw his shoes.
Yeah, he's wearing some Reeboks.
I
or
always
some
notice
shit.
the shoes.
There's a close-up on them later. I mean, in the opening scene specifically. When he first kills this woman who he's stalking, she's getting changed.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you get the titty shot in the beginning, but it's a little bit more classy because she's just getting changed.
That's pretty exploitative, but yeah.
All right, classy's the wrong fucking word. I guess it feels natural, I guess is how I put
for
that.
horror.
But it is in there just because people want to see it. You're right. But he just comes up behind her. She's getting her clothes on, her Spanx or her fucking workout.
Her leotard.
Her leotard, and he just kind of barrels into the fucking room.
Yeah.
He punches a hole. Speaking of the tyrant, he like puts a hole right through this woman and reaches right through her with this glove.
That's his famous move, Joe.
pretty great.
Yep.
She's got Albert Weskerd.
Which, again, I think is probably all stuff that Mr. Mattei added. I would
Yes.
have to guess. I feel like that was all kind of left up to the imagination.
Pretty sure all the gore cut in stuff was Mattei. I'm pretty sure.
And that's the only, spoiler alert, but like the only gore I get. Like is there anything other than the punch throughs?
There's the one chick who gets her throat slashed.
Right, okay.
The dance instructor comes in.
Oh God,
Yes.
this is so
Man,
bad.
I gotta tell you, because I just want to talk about this real fast.
Yeah, yeah.
This dance instructor has the worst improv scene I've ever seen.
We need to talk about her.
It was fucking painful.
That's what I'm saying. At first, she's kind of, somebody gave her bad directions, or they filmed this out of order.
Claudio Fragasso giving bad direction.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I literally have in my notes, dance instructor should have been cast different. I feel like they wanted to cast like a completely different style of person, and she's just filling in for this role and trying to be that person, but she's not.
Right, because at first she's into the routine, but now that we've like changed and cut back, now she hates everything. This is never gonna work. I'm nervous. I'm having a break. She's smoking a cigarette.
Has a cane.
That was the cane is great too. That was more coherent than what she says because she's like,
You're right.
the cigarette, and she's like, you guys, this.
Yeah.
I don't know how to improv.
Yeah,
My
literally.
My improv was better off the cuff. You're right. I'm
This
not
is
getting
me
paid.
like 5th grade drama class having to do a monologue with one prop. That was what we just saw.
And the thing is, she didn't even get hired because she could scream well, because she gets her fucking throat slashed like Motel Hell and can't speak.
Yeah, well, that's a really cool scene, and I love the ideas. See, that's the thing. Like, Claudia has really good ideas. Maybe they're not executed great, but this is cool because she goes to look for, I think her name's Elizabeth, the woman who just got a hole punched in her.
Right, yeah.
She comes back there, and Night Killer TM, like, slits her throat. And it's a really rough scene because it's just like this gouge like ripped out.
I thought she was dead.
No,
Right.
It's like the guy from Halloween H2O dude who gets his larynx crushed because she can't speak now.
Well, right, that's why I mentioned Motel Hell, because they cut
yeah,
all their
that too,
necks
yeah.
so they can't yell while they're going to eat them later.
Yeah.
Man, that movie's great.
Yeah.
But so she can't scream, but like I kind of get pissed because it's like, again, I'm assuming this is very low budget, but it's like, okay,
You don't say.
Yeah, she just has some red on her neck, and it's like, all right, well, they obviously added the other shot in post then, or something got fucked up, and she's running away, she can't scream, and it's kind of funny. This guy's like Jason Voorhees, fucking teleporting around.
Yeah. And he also has this voice where he's like talks like this.
He's a creepy fucking. I'm horny. I'm gonna rape you.
He says some horrible shit later.
Yeah.
He's getting some tips from Billy, but he
From
from
he's got
Black
him on
Christmas.
speed dial.
Yeah.
It's his fucking mentor.
But it's a cool shot. It's a cool scene because I love the idea of her not being able to scream because she's up in like the balcony section and she's trying to scream for the people dancing on stage.
The music's so loud. They're so focused on the routine.
Right.
Yeah.
They heard the other girl clear her throat, but can't hear this woman gurgling up top.
Hitting seats as she's falling over.
But it's a cool scene, and he ends up grabbing her, punching a hole through her, and she takes a fucking swan dive off the balcony.
Yeah, so I don't know if they just held this shot on some clothes and just did like 4 or 5 in a row, but they use different shirts every time, so they made some effort.
Oh, Mattei was like, all right, baby, let's switch out the mannequin and put this clothes on.
Right.
I don't even know if it matches what she's wearing.
Which, okay, like if I didn't know, I'm still going to say this regardless, but like if I didn't know that there was 2 directors and somebody filling in for one other, because like it reminds me of another film we covered on Stevie's Brain Rot, Girls Scream Horror, I think it was called.
No, Girl School Screamers.
But it's the same thing where there was like this film, kind of a boring movie without the gore, but like they hired someone else. I think it was actually Trauma. And they added all these gore shots in, but it kind of changed the whole movie.
Yeah, when Trauma picked it up, they put inserts.
Yeah. Now, this movie, I wouldn't go so far as to say the whole movie's changed because of what they added, but it definitely adds some inconsistencies I'll get to later.
Yeah, man, because all these cut-ins with like all this gore, it kind of adds a different feel to the whole thing, especially when it's against like the more serious beats of the movie later.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is like really intense, like over the top, crazy B shit, and then like we have some really serious issues that are tackled later.
Right. I guess where I was going with that is because it maybe wasn't initially planned to be a classic, for lack of a better term, a slasher movie.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. I feel like when it just is a lot of this guy punching people through the chest, like Akainu in One Piece, I'll leave it at that. I won't totally spoil it. But then I'm just like, okay, well, I fucking hate that because I kind of want some variety in my slasher. Not to say you can't have the same kill move and make it interesting. But like the 5th hole through the stomach, I'm like, all right, that happened again.
Let me say it one more time. It's low budget.
No,
They're reusing the shit.
I realize that, but this is what makes it go lower on my list of why I enjoy it, because that's something I look for in slasher movies, even if it was an afterthought to be a slasher.
Gotcha.
It feels supernatural, which makes it confusing.
That too.
Right, there's that.
Because then you're just confused in the first 5 minutes.
Because he's punching holes through people.
With a
like a Terminator
thrift store mask.
Yeah. And it's like, well, this is just a guy, or is it a monster?
That's
exactly.
true.
Yeah.
It's got the T virus in him somewhere.
Spoilers, it's a guy. Just a guy.
Not like some Giallo, you may know.
That's true.
We won't tell you which.
The good ones.
The good ones.
One of the best ones. If you're talking about what I'm talking about.
Might be.
Oh, by the way, this is a Christmas movie, folks.
Yes.
Okay?
Another secret Christmas movie.
Secret Christmas movie.
Just like Deep Red, that opening. I still count it.
You got to put it on the docket because this is a Christmas. There's a Christmas tree. There's Christmas presents. It's
So
Christmas
important.
Eve.
Yep.
It's very important.
It comes back at the end. I was shocked.
Yeah.
So we get introduced to Tara Buckman is here from.
Speaking of Christmas.
Yeah, Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is kind of funny. Do you think that they did that on purpose? Hey, you were in that really big exploitative Christmas movie. Do you want to be in it? We got to drive that point home.
Where you were also, let's just say, raped and tortured and killed in
also,
front of your son.
Yeah.
Still one of the greatest slashers ever. Speaking of good slasher movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy to see her in this. I was like, she looks so fucking familiar. You look it up, it's like, she's playing a mom again.
Yeah, but she's like the main character, which is pretty insane because like she's only got a bit part in Silent Night, Deadly
That's
Night.
true.
So
5 minutes in that, yeah.
So yeah.
Fragasso knows his stuff.
He
I have
does.
faith in him. I bet he has really good taste in horror films.
Well, see, what you didn't know is this movie's also called Silent Night, Deadly Night 7.
Oh God, where's Mickey Rooney?
Yeah.
The French release of this film translates to
Pierre Noël. No, I don't know.
Deadly Games. No.
Deadly Games, yeah. Man, that movie's so good.
1-800 Santa Claus?
3615 Santa
Yeah,
Claus,
something.
dial code Santa Claus.
Yeah, Dial Code Santa
yeah,
Claus.
yeah.
Meanwhile, Edward Furlong's sitting there writing that down. He's like, well, that brain scan thing worked out so good, I'll call this number too.
So she plays Melanie Beck, and she has just divorced her husband because he was a bad alcoholic. And she lets her daughter go hang out with her funkle and her aunt.
Wow, you're reading more into that than I was. I was like, who the fuck is this guy picking up her child? Is this the ex-husband? Is this They literally don't explain this at all.
No, I mean, you find out later, but yeah.
Much late, like an hour later. I'm just kind of reading between the lines for most of this
Well,
movie.
they're trying to give you the red herring thing because it's like, who are these people? Is that the ex-husband? Is it not? I thought that was her sister. And that was her brother-in-law?
Right, because like he takes the daughter, Clarissa, and you think there's like a car waiting outside. No, he's got to walk down the fucking street to get his wife, who he's then gonna. The wife's actually driving her in the car, so he's just there to be like, see you later.
So confusing.
Why didn't Annie, the wife Annie, just pick her the fuck up with the car? It's right down the road.
Claudio Fragasso.
Well.
That's my excuse for everything.
There might actually be a reason for that we'll talk about later now that I'm saying it out loud, but it's just stupid in the moment.
So Melanie's sitting there and she's got this sandwich, man. That sandwich looks so good. I wanted that sandwich.
She got that from Grandpa Seth. Dude, when he came corporeal for 10 minutes, he had that bologna sandwich.
He knows how to make a mean bologna sandwich. A double-decker bologna sandwich.
I just got to take out some fucking trolls.
Goblins.
Yeah, bologna sandwich.
Lil Bog is goblin backwards, guys. Did you know that?
Their ancestors came from Stonehenge, just by the way. Throw that in there.
Just don't hold the bologna sandwich and touch that fucking wall at the same time. Some bad shit's gonna happen.
So, speaking of Shamrock Shakes, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah, we're dripping off them, yeah.
Yeah. So she hears on the news that there's been another murder victim by this mass killer. That's really generous, just saying mass killer. Like, this guy is so specific with this fucking... I guess nobody's seen him necessarily.
Good point.
They do say that.
So then how do they know he's masked? If nobody's seen him. Anyway.
What did I say earlier? There's a lot of plot holes in this movie.
So she gets a call on her phone. Now, I like this because, again, I mentioned Billy before from Black Christmas or even like When a Stranger Calls stuff.
I do wish, I mean, what a nitpick, but the ADR was a little better on this fucking phone call.
Well, sure. It's supposed to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I think they do it like that so it keeps it like ambiguous, like with the guy's voice on the phone and stuff, so you don't know who's who, and you're constantly being like, oh, what's the red herring? You know, everybody's red herring.
I actually like that. I'm just, again, I said it's a total nitpick, just the ring on the phone.
Oh, the ring on the phone is kind of weird.
Yeah, it's like a chirping sound, the phone.
I don't know. I wasn't making any phone calls in 1990. I was a fucking infant, but did they sound like that in the 90s?
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I never heard that.
Maybe in Italy?
Oh, okay. Not in West Virginia, though, or Virginia Beach, rather.
West Virginia, in air quotes. Virginia Beach.
I guess it'd be Virginia, not West.
I know, I said West Virginia, too, but it's
No, you did say Virginia Beach, I'm pretty sure.
Right, okay, Virginia Beach.
I'm fucking it
John
up.
Saxon's there, riding a motorcycle or something.
I've been to Virginia Beach multiple times, so I was trying to,
Were you looking for a car? Where's that convertible?
Yeah. I was like, oh, they're in town.
Yeah.
she gets this phone call from this guy, and you find out that it's her ex, and he's like harassing her, and she's like, "Don't fucking call me anymore," and blah blah blah. And he's like at the bar, and he's like, his fucking voice is so weird.
Yeah.
Well, again,
Melanie.
And he's like, "Melanie, I know you're there. What are you doing? What are you wearing?"
right, and they do this thing a lot of times when they show this character where it's always from the back of the head. So the only thing you really could see is it's kind of like this classic greaser look. The hair
Trench
slicked
coat,
back.
the black gloved hands, ends up like squeezing like a glass and breaking it at the fucking bar.
She hung up on him. How dare he? Or she, rather.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, so he's the killer, right?
Sure.
Who could teleport because now he's in her house, basically. Well, she gets a phone call first.
Oh, man. She has like this. This is the first thing of like her kind of like existential crisis that she's having because I don't know. I don't know why she does it, but she pulls out the snoops and she's just like in the mirror talking to herself.
Right.
She's checking for lumps, Joe. She's like, oh, no cancer. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she's starting to have a breakdown because she's like talking about her daughter and how her daughter, she has to put her with the aunt and the funkle, and how her ex-husband's like a drunk and she's like losing control of her life. So she's already having a mental breakdown.
I never
right?
thought of it like that. And
Yeah.
that's a great way to justify that scene in a sense. Like she's vulnerable already mentally.
That
So
does make
I
sense.
think that's what they're going for. It
Okay.
doesn't. You really got to read into that because it's just like, oh, she's just topless for no reason.
I mean, sensitive. These nipples are sensitive that she's fucking going like this on the areola.
Well-
but also, just because we didn't mention it, and it is important later, believe it or not, the Funkle, as you're referring to.
Yeah, the
Sherman,
Funkle.
we find out like 90 minutes in is his name.
fake uncle, funkle. Yeah.
Oh, okay. He brings a gift.
Oh, yes,
Christmas shit.
that's important. Don't open till Christmas, that big
Right.
gift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Barnaby.
Yeah.
Or actually, that was Stan and Ollie. Yeah, same movie.
Could be. Also, that UK slasher we did.
There's so many little things in this film that you really do have to pay attention to that you might just overlook because you're like, it's a Claudio Fragasso film.
That is true.
There is all important.
There's
This
a
is
lot
why-
of shit that kind of comes back together.
This is why I'm trying to make the argument that these are
Yes.
pertinent points
Yes.
for why these things happen.
Yes.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
Like the two lines.
Yes, exactly. And then you're like, wait, why is this happening? Oh, it's because this thing, you missed this part. So she gets another call. This time, he's like, hi, Melanie. I see you or whatever. You're so hot. I want to have sex. I'm going to fuck you like crazy or something.
I'm gonna fuck you
Yep.
senseless. I
Senseless.
guess implying he saw her fondling herself in the mirror in the window.
Margot Kidder should have told him to go fuck a wall socket, dude.
Well, unfortunately, she doesn't know the phone call's coming from within the house.
Which is it's a pretty cool reveal too, because she sees Dan Haggerty outside in the phone
I
booth.
wrote the same thing down. The Blue Wizard's out there.
And she's like, oh my God, he could see me in my house. But turns out she's got two lines and he's like standing behind her. It's a really cool shot. It's a really cool shot.
She even kind of scream again. Wes Craven. He had to
and
see this fucking movie.
Oh, dude, and this I wrote that too. The Scream thing, yeah.
Because she calls the cops first. Like it's more like Black Christmas. Scream obviously didn't exist yet. But
Officer Gabriel.
Yeah.
Officer Gabriel. She calls him and she says, let this guy's calling. He threatened her, yada, yada. And he's just like, well, lock the door and we'll call back in 5 minutes.
He's a lot more competent than Nash, right?
He is.
Fellatio.
Fellatio,
Yeah.
right? But I love how she's like smoking a cigarette waiting and she gets the call back and she thinks it hasn't been long enough. And then it's the killer with what you just said, just standing in the hallway.
Dude, and this scene too is crazy because he's there and she's so scared out of her mind the cop calls back and the killer picks up the phone and he's like, hey, I'm her husband and everything's fine here. I calmed her down. She's all good.
Crazy.
Okay, bye. And then hangs up.
But she waits till he hangs up to be like, no! Like the cop could have heard that maybe. Or like if you ran in and like,
yeah.
It's fucking bizarre because you see him in the other room just like, yep, don't worry about it.
I know the profile shot of him through the door.
all casual, like.
Sir, it sounds like you're talking through a rubber mask. What's going on over there?
Yeah. Sounds like you're holding the phone with a rubber glove or something. Oh no, this is actually a prosthetic that I hold myself.
Which is another fucking problem because it's one of those things where it's like, oh, well, the man said everything's okay, so I guess everything's fine. Like, what if she was, what if it was, she's supposed to have an ex-husband
Right.
that's abusive or whatever and a drunk. So, like,
Well, they want you to think that with breaking the glass, you don't
right,
see his
right,
face.
good on her. She pulls out a fucking gun. She's got a snub nose.
Yeah,
she pulls out of the
revolver,
thing.
yeah.
And she shoots him through the door. And she's like, I thought you were dead. And he like comes around the corner. He's like, I was just kidding.
That legit scared me. I was legit scared by that.
Yeah. It's a good
I
scene.
screamed.
I probably would have unloaded the whole fucking revolver Loomis style, not just one shot. I got him.
Get 6 times. You got to open
Open the door,
You gotta
right?
open the door or let him come through and shoot him in the fucking head. That's how you get that done.
6 in the chest works too, but I ain't trying the head. I'll probably miss.
So this is kind of weird too because you're not expecting this part. So now it's like he gets her and he's like, now it's all part of the game, and he takes his mask off.
Right, but
it's all part of the game, like Freddy Krueger.
Oh God, right. But yeah, they zoom in, so only she sees it, and he's got like the switchblade right up to her face, and he's threatening her.
And it's horrible. It's just like you know, he's gonna use her till he doesn't want her, and then he's gonna fucking kill her.
Well, especially after the news report said that his other victims, he did all this horrible shit.
But she's different. He stresses that too.
Specifically, yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna do something different to you
because I've been waiting for this day, and you're like, well, who could this guy possibly be?
Yeah.
Hard cut to the cop and the doctor in the hospital, and like. And then you get, you know, the burning plot dump as they walk down the thing, and he's just like, yeah, you know, thank God that guy Sherman was there, that Funkle Sherman was there and saved her, and, you know, she can't remember anything because it was so traumatic, which is another big part of this that I kind of like because that happens, but that actually happens to people. And it's like she went through this horrible ordeal where, like, from the trauma and the stress, she's blocked everything out of her mind. So she can't remember what the guy looks like, even what happened. She can't even remember her own name or her daughter.
Yeah, she meets her daughter. She's like, pretty girl, who is it? They're like, ooh.
Yeah.
But I was joking about Loomis a second ago, but this doctor is a fucking Loomis stand-in.
Oh, he's a Loomis.
Yes.
It's like him and Leon Cunningham from like Game of Thrones and The Last Voyage of Demeter and Dog Soldiers. It's like they cloned into each other. They went in the Seth Brundle fucking transpods I was joking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the guy from fucking Golden Child and Last Action Hero.
That could work too. I was just he has the Loomis. I mean, he's just wearing a suit, but it's like literally the one that fucking Donald Pleasance has on in the first movie.
Well, he's also a psychiatrist too, so
oh god.
And
you can't help but make those.
I guarantee you he's Loomis light. Like Fragasso's like, well, Halloween had a psychiatrist with a killer. Let's do the same thing.
Yeah. Wow. And I was kind of disappointed. I mean, this cop does come back a few times, but I thought he was going to be a way bigger character. Well, he's kind of just there so things can happen.
He's got some funny one-liners, but he's also a terrible cop.
Yes.
So the daughter goes in and she's like, Mommy, when are you coming home? She's like, soon. And she leaves and the doc's like, why did you lie to her? What the fuck's your problem? She's like, I don't know, I'm tired. Good night. And then just goes back to sleep.
Yeah.
But before they go in there, actually, this is important. Now the Funkle, I'm just going to call him that.
He's Funkle.
Sherman.
Funkle Sherman, yeah.
Has a fucking bandage on his face, and he didn't have that in the first scene, so I'm like, huh. That's a little strange. He's like, yeah, the motherfucker came at me with a knife when I stopped him.
Well, he's claiming that he saved her.
Yeah. Hey, the wheels are already fucking turning, and I'm like, okay, Sherman. All right, back of the head. Put it in the back of the head. We still have that other guy at the bar. I'm not totally landing on one or the other yet, but I'm like, that's fucking weird. And then he's outside talking to reporters like, he's got the bandage off now. He's got this scar that looks like it's been there for fucking years.
He's like, you know, I went in there and he cut my face and like ran out before, but I didn't get a good look at his face, so I didn't see what he looked like.
I mean, if you get slashed in the face, I kind of believe that.
Yeah, but it turns out like they take custody of the daughter. Oof. And like the fake aunt is like, oh, you know, we never had a daughter of our own, so now she's our child. And it's like, what?
Which is creepy on its own, but then later it goes like full sleepaway camp just about, minus switching the child's gender. And I'm like, wow, didn't expect that.
Yeah.
No, there are a lot of psychotic people in this film, different versions.
Yeah, definitely.
Mental illness.
Uncle Sherman's like, oh, you know, they get interviewed, like a news interviewer comes up and like, what do you think about the killers and what happened to Melanie? And he's like, oh, it was sick what happened. And, you know, if her ex-husband, you know, that drunk cop, you know, if I was a cop, I'd go kill that guy.
Right.
And that's it. And then he just walks off. Yeah.
That's what happens.
So that's what he does.
Okay, so this is where the confusion for me really fucking begins. This woman's
You mean when she's just cruising around in her Trans Am?
I was like, is this a flashback?
This is where the confusion begins? No, I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, we're 15 minutes in, so that's pretty early.
What's the passage of time here? We just saw this woman with amnesia, doesn't know who she is, where she is, her
name. So did she break
name.
Out, or was she released? We don't know, right?
I don't know.
Well, again, we do find out in the last 10 fucking minutes.
Oh, that's right. Well, yeah.
But when you're watching the movie, right, exactly. This woman had a serious head injury. She's hurt all over mentally and physically.
She's certainly not driving a car or by herself, but she is.
A convertible with the fucking fur coat on. Meanwhile, this drunk motherfucker.
Dude, Peter Hooten himself.
It's insane.
Doctor Strange himself
right,
is here.
From the MDU, of course. We covered that at one of our Ripe reviews. That's actually an older movie because of the release that they put out. Was that Shout? Put that out, I think, limited.
Put that out, yeah. But he's also in ORCA, too, as well.
He's in ORCA. He's like the last one before Samson to get killed when the ice falls on him. He's like one of the last ones. So he's coming up behind her on this Jeep when he gets beside her with the bottle of booze in a brown bag.
Dude, he's drunk as fuck driving this car. And he's like, hey, baby, let's that want to be friends? And she's
Yeah.
like trying to like get her off the road.
She fucking, what does she do? She gives him the finger and speeds off?
Yeah.
She pulls into some place and runs into
What is that place?
I don't know. Is that the aquarium that we see later?
Oh.
The museum?
It's probably the same location to save money, right?
She runs into this place and then goes into the bathroom. And this scumbag goes into the
Right.
fucking place and then goes into the women's bathroom like looking for her.
You're like checking the stall.
Yeah. And again, good on her. She's got her gun and she's like, what the fuck are you doing?
I like that shot too. She kind of pulls the gun in from off camera.
So she makes him take all his clothes off and put it in the toilet?
Yeah.
And flush it? So Peter Hooten's packing, dude. He takes all his clothes off. He's in this little fucking blue Speedo underwear and banana hammock.
Oh, the Dragon Balls are hanging, man.
Yeah, and the clothes clearly aren't going to flush down a toilet. I mean, I've never seen this in a movie before.
It's just to
Ever.
fuck with him, right?
Ever.
I was dying laughing because it like cuts to the toilet and it's just like all of his clothes like clogging
Yeah.
the toilet, like overflowing.
I'd hate to be that janitor. You get in there. What the fuck? What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah, and she makes some smart comment about him being like full of shit or something. You know, like she does make a toilet joke.
Yeah.
It's
That
pretty
was
good.
pretty good,
You
actually.
must be used to fishing stuff out of the
Yeah,
toilet because
yeah.
you're full of shit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then runs out of the door.
Yeah. Also, I have to mention that the score, the music that comes in during this bathroom scene is like some of my favorite music.
There's some really good musical cues in this.
Really
Yeah.
good. And this one is a reoccurring theme, which I have Shazammed, and someone definitely stole it. And it's like a track on Shazam that is not by the composer of this film, but
Oh
I
my
do
God.
listen to it often. But the same man who did the music for this film also did the music for Troll 2.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Carlo Maria Cordio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He does that banger in the beginning for Troll 2.
I
Over the
guess. I
credits,
mean, it's.
probably.
I guess if he did the score for it, he might. I think he's a genius. So
I love that.
I mean, I'll say the Troll 2 soundtrack pretty damn good. Soundtrack in this pretty damn good.
Yeah,
Even when
Monster
they're dance-
Dog.
Monster Dog too.
Oh.
Not the non-Alice Cooper ones.
Oh, take his parts out of the equation.
Oh, come on. Identity Crisis is
Yeah.
like the best in the beginning of that movie.
So good. Confusing, but great.
Oh, yeah.
Lines up.
He fucking comes out in his underwear. And this,
Which is a Speedo, by the way.
yeah, and this guy's like, is there a problem, sir? He's like, I got molested in the little boy's room. And then he
Yes.
runs away out the door. Dude, I fucking lost it for that. I was like, here's Peter Hooten screaming this at the top of his lungs, running outside in his underwear.
Yeah, because he's crazy.
Yeah.
Apparently he's got to change it. He doesn't have extra shoes, but he's got a jeans and a
t-shirt?
t-shirt.
His acting in
Love
this
it.
is like bizarre because he's like also doing this kind of southern accent, kind of.
Yeah, I was talking about that
Something's
earlier.
weird
We
about
need
it.
to talk about
Yeah.
that.
I don't know how big Virginia Beach is. I kept thinking like Los Angeles or New York in my head, or even
I
Philadelphia,
guess
honestly.
it's Virginia accent.
But well, I'm saying when he's driving around looking for her, how the fuck did he even know? I mean,
It
he
makes
might have
sense
had some
later,
ideas,
question mark.
But still, you're driving all over Virginia Beach and you just happen to find this convertible parked at the fucking beach. What are the odds?
Dude, she lays out this picnic blanket full of pills and booze. And she's just sitting on the beach and like eating all this shit, like trying to kill herself. And Peter Hooten drives up in the thing and he runs down and he's like, what the hell are you doing? He's like shaking and she's like, I'm committing suicide. What does it look like?
He's like, you gotta drink some seawater and get that shit out.
Man, he fucking slams this poor woman's face into the ocean.
It's like he's doing a baptism. You ever see those? Like the adults getting baptized, getting their heads dunked.
It's just so fucking ludicrous. He's like, drink it.
Right.
And then she's just there sitting dry heaving. And then I guess she's okay because we smash cut to her in a hotel and she's not dead. Why isn't she in a hospital?
Again, I thought that all that was a flashback. So when she woke up in bed again, I wasn't even putting together she's not in a hospital bed. I was just like, oh, that didn't happen. Then she starts walking around this room like confused, like, where am I? And I'm like, wait. And then Peter Hooten, I think, walks in. I'm like, wait, okay, so that all did just actually happen?
There's no way in fuck that he made her drink some seawater and she was better.
I didn't see
There's no way.
anything come out.
I didn't see. I just saw her dry heave. You need it pumped.
Well,
She had like 7 bottles.
Huge bottles.
Huge bottles of prescription drugs.
Well, he also pours all the shit he finds in the bag, like on the bed when he comes back with the KFC in a little while. And he's like, he pulls out like a fucking syringe. Like, was she like, she got the rubber on her arm?
I don't know, man.
And he just watched. I was like, oh, well, she shot herself up. I better stop her now.
Well, he pours he comes back with the fucking KFC. It's hilarious.
He's better than Baldwin. Baldwin just had that hamburger bag in John Carpenter's Vampires. I thought of that.
Melanie's banging on the door because she can't get out, and he's like, what the fuck? The door was unlocked the whole time, and I'm like, huh, okay.
Yeah, again, lock yourself in. The door is unlocked.
Yeah, but he locks her in later,
right?
And she can't get out, and I'm like, he probably just told her that because she doesn't know how to use a fucking doorknob. I guess I don't know.
There's also like in between those two scenes where he finds her and her waking up, or when he comes back, which is again they're trying to fuck with you. They go back to that guy at the bar, who you think is her husband because she keeps getting those calls, or maybe that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, no, sure.
Back of the head shot.
Back of the head.
Talking to some, I'll call her a floozy, someone that's drunk. He's just picking up. They don't want to have sex.
Yeah.
That's all they care about.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, where's this going? Well, after
back to my
I love where it's going.
Well, we cut to the killer's hideout.
The killer's workshop.
He's an artist.
He's an artist. He sculpts his own masks, and he makes all his kill tools, and he makes molds and everything.
Yeah, he's an artist.
Painting.
He'd fit in great in Philly, honestly. Artwork from this fucking guy.
I don't want this scumbag in the town.
Not me either. I'm just saying it would fit some of those murals that are there. But yeah, I was thinking about that. Are these his trophies he draws afterwards? Or maybe these are the moments of the women when they're killed, because there's a lot of like naked women screaming in the phone.
Yes.
I keep saying photos in the drawings.
Yeah, and the paintings and
It
stuff
was
like
giving
that.
scanners, when they go to the artist's
yeah.
house or studio, I should say.
Yeah, or like Eddie Quist in The Howling, like has all the drawings and stuff. Yeah.
And I mentioned it earlier. Joe's going to love this one. I mentioned Deep Red earlier.
Oh, God.
So at 35 minutes and 32 seconds, pause this fucking movie to find a major plot hole.
In Deep Red?
Because in this movie.
Hold on, let me preface it with the joke.
Yeah, Christina doesn't know.
He
Deep Red.
never saw Deep Red before.
Okay.
Okay.
Still?
No,
there's a couple years ago. I've actually talked about
And then he watches it and he comes and tells me, he's like, oh, you know who the fucking killer is in the first 5 minutes? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well, because I rewound it.
He rewound the tape
Oh.
or the video to pause it where
With
the
knife?
killer's standing in the hallway.
Oh.
And he thinks it's a picture.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I knew who it was
What you
the whole
find
time.
out at the end.
And I'm like...
I haven't told this story in a while. I think at the time,
But
though,
you're not
I was
supposed to pause the movie.
legitimately confused. I thought I missed something, which I did, and I rewound it, but then it was really fucking obvious. Yeah. So that's the joke. At 35 minutes
He
and
ruined
32
the entire movie for himself.
seconds.
Yeah.
When they're walking through the door, they have this backlight blasting, so you can't tell who it is.
Wow.
They fucked up because at 35, 32, you could totally see who it is.
Oh, yeah.
And then the rest of the movie makes no fucking sense
Right.
because they're like, well, we changed it after the fact, or, well, you weren't supposed to pause it, or, well, this was supposed to be from VHS where you couldn't tell.
Well, no.
You could see his face. And then he proceeds to kill this woman, is the point.
He doesn't just kill this woman.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
She's like all up on him and he's like, come here, I want you to tell me a story. Tell me a story about Little Red Riding Hood. And she's
Oh, yeah, and he puts the mask on, by the way, and she's
Right,
kind of
right.
like, oh, yeah, that's your kink, all right.
Yeah,
like
she's like,
that,
what's this?
The mask touching her ass.
Yeah.
Fondling her titties.
Yeah, the with the clawed hand.
she's like, oh, Grandma, what big paws you have? And he's like, oh, the better to feel you with, my dear. But she grabs his dick and she's like, oh, Grandma, what a big schlong you have.
I
didn't
don't
like
want to
that,
hear
though.
that together. Like, I just don't ever.
Another just fucking hilarious line. And then that was too far for him, right? Then he's like, all right, I'm not into this anymore.
Yeah, punched in the stomach, right.
Yeah. He grabs her by the face and like slams her face into like wax.
Right,
Or silicone?
It's the only kill that's different, you're right.
I think it's supposed to be hot wax. And like he's dipping her face in the wax and she's getting all the wax on her. And then he like lays her out and she looks like a fucking glazed donut because it's all over her.
It's so good.
Again, the fondling of the titties. Now that she's dead in a fucking statue, he's like, oh,
now I can have sex with you because I put the mask on and the claw hand. So now she's like a piece of art, question mark?
and he's kissing her through the, mask
weird.
to mask.
It's weird.
Does he make these masks in his studio?
That's the whole thing. Like you see when it pans around, you see like his sculpture and the molds and stuff.
Right.
So he made this stuff.
He's like into prosthetics and special effects makeup.
He's a special effects artist, which is even
Done a
creepier.
better job with that mask then, right?
Yeah. Well, he probably bought it from the store and was like, "Oh, it ripped. I'm just gonna make a mold of somebody else's shitty sculpt. Who knows?"
Well, because then there's the funny part where he's kissing the mask to mask.
God.
There's mask to
Oh,
mask.
yeah.
Mask to
Now
mask.
mask to mask. Now he can now he's happy because he's just like feels content.
Well, he's touching that big schlong while he's doing it naturally.
But
yeah.
like, is that the kink? What is the kink? I thought it was just like finding random women.
God.
Now it's like, oh, now I glaze them in wax and put masks on them, and who the fuck knows?
Don't overthink it. Again, don't pause it. Don't rewind it. Don't overthink it. Just keep watching it.
It makes you keep guessing for sure.
I mean, it does, actually.
Yeah. So we cut back to these hotel scenes, and I kind of just want to do these in one shot because
Sure.
it's a lot of cutting back and forth. Like we're padding this fucking movie out as much as we can. So it's a lot of scenes of Peter Hooton and Melanie on the bed, and the whole time he's doing similar things to her that the killer had done to her in the first place. So he's like tying her up to the bed, and
That's that ripping. He's ripping the shirt.
he's like ripping the shirt open, tying her to the bed, smacking her in the face, degrading her, and saying all this awful shit to her.
I couldn't believe how many times he slapped her in the fucking face.
He's like, "You call me master now."
Don't say
or
fuck.
something. Yeah. Stop cussing you. I don't like it.
Also, he's like
Right,
1 inch
right.
from her face, sweating like a motherfucker.
Yeah, it's gross.
She has the revolver at one point. She's, I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
That whole scene.
oh my god. And
He's eating chicken. He's like, I'm just gonna eat this chicken.
I'm gonna eat this chicken and go ahead. I'll do it for you. Open your mouth. And he like puts it in her mouth, and she's just like, "Oh my god."
Yeah,
He's like,
it's so
no.
dramatic.
He's like, you don't have the balls for it. The only one in the room with the balls to do it, it's me.
So this is a really creepy, gross part, but the way that it's acted and shot is like it's pretty funny.
Well, that's my biggest. It's pretty hokey to begin with,
Yeah.
but it just stays on the shot for literally
in
2
a
minutes.
in a more serious movie, this would be extra
well, I agree, but
unsettling.
I think that if they at least use a few different camera angles, again, maybe they just didn't have the fucking time or care.
Sure.
But it's a stagnant shot of them with the revolver to the head, or his head, or her in her mouth, to the he's eating chicken. Again, it's like 2 minutes.
It's easy as eating a drumstick, he says.
Right. I think about like, okay, maybe if you had a close up on her mouth when he puts the
Yeah.
gun in it, or when he's putting it like on her lip, or even something gross close up on him eating the chicken. I don't know, something dynamic instead
sure.
of just this stagnant shot that doesn't even zoom in. It's just they're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the actors have to just kind of make this work for 2 minutes without breaking the scene up.
Look, kudos to them too, because
Yeah.
this is like a long scene without a cut. So yeah.
Yeah.
Claudio loved that.
Yeah.
Well, we had better takes, but they kept fucking up in the middle. Just use the long one.
So the whole thing is he's not letting her out of the room, and he's basically abusing her in this room. Okay.
Right.
And you're made to think that Peter Hooton is the killer, and he comes back periodically to check on her, and he's like, "I gotta go do some stuff." And then when he goes to leave,
People get killed.
Let off steam.
Let up steam. That's what it is. Let's go to the fucking aquarium or whatever, the Oceanographic Museum.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to add, there is that caveat too, where the police and that doctor keep going to the news saying, giving out a little too much information, and then it comes to this thing where it's like, well, you said too much to the news, and now she actually did get kidnapped, and now it's happening all over again.
It's all part of the plan, detective, or something.
Yeah, Dr.
Ooh.
Moreau, he knows all about that.
Yeah.
So there's this whole stock sequence in this Oceanographic Museum. I thought it was an aquarium, but apparently
Right.
it's a museum, an Oceanographic Museum.
Ooh.
Like something out like I was talking about on Trilogy of Terror, where they have like the science shit at museums.
It's a lot like that.
Yeah.
And it's just to up the body count of the movie, he's there and kills this woman. Again, punching her through the stomach, but this time from the back.
Dude, he
Yeah.
does a full toasty. He pops up behind her. He's like, toasty!
Yeah.
Stabs her through the stomach and guts her. No pun intended.
My only note is surprised they let them shoot in an aquarium.
Did they get a written release by all the fish?
I wonder which one it was, right? I this better be a place in Virginia Beach that you can go visit.
I want to find out. I'm gonna ask my friends.
The Virginia
I
Beach
live there.
Aquarium.
Yeah,
Be like,
I'm gonna
oh
go
yeah,
next
that's
time.
the plankton exhibit that's
Yeah,
in there.
I gotta go to this place, whatever it is. I gotta go. I want to go to all the locations in this one. I've literally been to Virginia Beach twice
That'd
for
be
like
kinda
long
fun.
periods of time. So next time
God.
I'm going.
I love
Like,
that.
oh, there it is, the
Yeah,
aquarium.
I gotta go there.
That's
I
where he
love-
punched that chick through the chest.
Yeah, I love going to do that stuff like when I'm on
Yes.
vacation.
You're right though. Like the hotel, there's a lot of cutting back and
Yeah.
forth.
So we're jumping right to this is kind of the culmination of it because the doc they go to check on Melanie and she's not home, and the doc is the detective's like, where the fuck could she be, blah blah blah, and the doc ends up telling the reporters that like she's in a state of dissociative schizophrenia.
right.
So now she's got a very loose grip on reality, and what he says is like. And what you're supposed to believe is like, well, maybe she's imagining all this happening to her. Is she actually the killer? ? And then he's like, well, the killer has her, and as soon as he does this thing to her, she's going to remember that it's him. And like that's how they're going to catch the killer, I guess. But as soon as she realizes it's him, he's going to kill her, and that's where
Right.
that's the conclusion they're coming to. So they didn't expect the killer to go capture her, but that is also their plan.
As we find out, right? Yeah. It's like a propaganda thing.
It's insane. It was through the media.
So they don't know at this point, maybe you have to cut this out. They don't know the twist yet.
They don't know the twist. They don't know who it is, but they're baiting the killer.
Right.
To abduct her so that they can find him or something.
Through the news tapings. I guess.
Yeah.
That are frequent in this film.
Nobody's doing actual police work. They're
No.
just going on TV and being like, if you see this woman, see this character, we didn't have a picture, so we sketched her up. This is what she looks like.
God.
Yeah.
Because a couple of those other hotel scenes I just want to mention, because like that guy, the hotel manager, sees it in the paper.
Oh, he's great.
And he calls the cops.
Yeah.
But before we have that, Peter Hooten's in there with his fucking erect nipples, and her shirt's open with erect nipples.
gross.
He's like, I didn't
All
blow off enough
nipples.
steam. I think you had said that already. But
Well, that's when he ties her up and all that shit.
yeah. And it's like, all right, well, they're really horny making this.
But he's out getting KFC or some shit, and he talks to that guy you said, and she's in the room, and she's finally had a full mental break because she like does all of her makeup.
It says on like the mirror and lipstick, I'll kill you, I kill me, or something like that.
She loads the gun, and I thought she's gonna shoot Peter Hooten when he walked through the door, but she shoots the mirror. And Peter Hooten comes in, and he's like, holy shit. He's like, what are you doing with that gun?
Yeah.
And the hotel guy comes up, and he opens the door, and he's like, hey, what was that noise? He's like, we just broke a mirror. No big deal. No problem. And he like slips $1 bill into his glass.
Into his glasses. Yeah, definitely not a gunshot. Obvious gunshot.
Okay, no more funny business, mister.
But then he does get, because he was reading the newspaper in the other scene, so this is like a thing with him. He reads the paper and he calls the cops.
Yeah, because in the paper is that sketch of Melanie.
Front
and
page.
She's like, I know I've seen that woman before. Oh, she's being held in my fucking hotel.
We have like this main cop. He doesn't even, I think, get a name. I just call him the sergeant.
Right.
He's a detective.
Yeah. And all these, they call the cops, and all these cops jump into a patrol car and drive over. And I'm like, okay, 3 or 4 people, that should work. The only one that gets out's the sergeant. And he's like, all right, guys, go back to home base.
What is that about? He's like, all right, you guys can leave. And even the hotel guy's like, wait, you came here to take the killer guy by yourself? He's like, I'll handle it. You shut the fuck up and get out of here.
Pulls out a PP7 or something, a handgun. He's like walking up the stairs, up this breezeway. He's like, oh, yeah. He has the extra key he gets from the hotel manager, so he unlocks it all smooth, but then he still kicks the fucking door open, like, freeze!
Yeah.
But he walks in, and he gets fucking brained by Peter Hooten.
in like 2 seconds.
In 2 seconds.
Worst police work ever. Doesn't even check his corners.
He actively sends the cops away.
My fucking cat would be better at this. She at least looks around looking for shit. This guy's like, ooh.
Well, I mean, it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense later for the whole picture to be put together.
You know, it's not necessarily always a good thing when we're saying this like 20 times in a review. Sometimes that could be a good thing. We'll get there.
Yeah. So Peter Hooten gets on a payphone, and he's like, yeah, I'm the killer, and I have Melanie, and she's right here with me. And
He dresses her.
He dresses her up
in this hat, and he puts the sunglasses all slow on her, and they're at this payphone.
like she's going incognito or some shit. And she turns around and has this epiphany because she sees her face on the newspaper.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, that guy's the killer. And she runs away from him. And Uncle Sherman just happens to be driving around because he takes his gun. He's like, I gotta go kill this guy.
Oh my God, that scene with his wife who's like, where are you going with a gun?
Oh, yeah, but then here's that,
Oh.
like I said, sleepaway camp, the
Yes,
aunt.
yeah,
The
the
freaks
aunt.
out. She's like, I hope she gets her throat slit and she dies because
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep her child for my own.
Yeah, she's referring to Clarissa as her own daughter, and the husband's like, you're crazy.
Clarissa walks up in her pajamas with like a little bunny rabbit.
Yeah.
She's like, I want my mommy. And Annie hugs her. She's like, I'm your mother now.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
not.
Yeah, yeah, and the Uncle Sherman's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, has the nerve. Yeah, the nerve.
He also uses that like moment of argument to like sneak out the
Yeah.
door because he was arguing.
Yeah.
Well, see you later.
Yeah.
But he's like driving around looking for this woman and just happens to find her on the street.
Again, what is this? The smallest version of Virginia Beach ever? You just like
Small
4
town.
corners and there you go.
So he shoves her in the car and brings her back to her apartment. Doesn't bring her to the cops.
Oh, by the
Doesn't
way,
bring her back to the house
Yeah, he's like, I'll take you home.
with her daughter or anything
Peter
like that.
Hooten is chasing like full sprint
Oh, yeah.
after the car. Like, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah.
no.
Yeah, he's like, no.
Goes full Darth Vader.
Also, all of her looks are iconic,
They
just like
kinda
side
are.
reference.
Oh
like
my God.
everyone needs to see this film for her various looks. I want all of them, by the way.
They are great. She has some serious style. I
Yeah.
think we open up the movie with her in some kind of exotic lingerie.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, there's so much good stuff
But she
in
has
here.
that cool like knit floppy hat thing going on. Looks cool.
The beret. The doctor
beret.
even
It's a
wears one.
massive
It's
beret.
huge.
It's the that's what he chose to dress
Yeah, the
her
doctor,
in.
right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he put on her.
Yeah.
So it all comes full circle because we're back at the house
Right, he
where
brings
it
her
all
home.
started.
Dun, dun, dun.
He leaves. Uncle Sherman leaves, right? And now the phone rings again, and she looks outside and she sees the phone booth where Dan Haggerty was, but now some other guy is getting in it and like calling the house, and she thinks it's that guy. And everything
I'm not gonna say it, but I think it's pretty fucking obvious who it is.
The tumblers are starting to fall into place and unlock, and then she finally realizes, oh, this all happened again. I have to lock the door, and I have to do this and that. So it's exactly beat for beat the beginning of the movie, where the killer calls her again on the phone, and he's behind her.
But she notices this time that it's from the second line instead of being scared and confused, and she's like, "Fuck, he's here again!" And he's like, again, he's not smiling because he's wearing a mask.
I'm back, Mrs. Beck.
Yeah.
At least at this point in the movie, they realized you're probably putting it together, especially since she sees the guy at the payphone. It's pretty fucking obvious.
What gives it away is the gun that he's holding, because it's like, oh, that's the same one he had. Yeah.
Or if you pause it at 35 minutes and 32 seconds, which again is not the character, because when he takes the fucking mask off, it's Uncle Sherman.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
So Night Killer TM is Uncle Sherman.
He's really upset about that facial
and you're like,
thing she did to him.
You're like, hold the phone. What's going on here? So previous to this, they're having an argument, him and his wife, and he's like, oh, you love that Melanie. She's like a bitch in heat and blah, blah, blah. Then he's telling Melanie, he's like, she was right. She sure was. You were like a bitch in heat, and I loved you so much.
Right.
And it's like, what?
But he is also pissed she scarred him. Like, he's like a narcissist about it.
Oh,
he's
sure.
like, you ruined my face.
He's like, that's not how it was supposed to go.
And just like Darby O'Gill and Little People, you get that Wayne's World shimmer as we get the flashback.
And so out of focus too. You're like, what's happening in there?
I love it too, because I don't know how the process they did it, but it's like they literally dumped water over the film,
literally,
and it's like going
Vaseline maybe on the lens.
And we go literally back to the shot where he took it off last time, but they zoomed in, but now you can see him taking it off.
And he like takes the mask off and then takes her and he puts her on the bed, and after all the horribleness is done, he's like, now you're gonna kill yourself. And you're like, wait, what? Yeah. And he unties her and he's like, here you go. And she takes the knife and he's like, okay, go ahead, stab yourself now. And she ends up like cutting him in the face.
As you would.
Like, yeah, now she has her chance to get away. He like fucking falls down the stairs and shit.
I think it's implied she pushes him because he's like, she kept coming after me. They usually don't come after me.
Well, she comes down the stairs with the knife ready to kill him, and he like runs away screaming.
I actually appreciated that, because like this whole movie, I'm like, this woman, like she's already been through the fucking ringer, and they're just treating her like she's totally helpless.
I know.
So I kind of appreciated that she fought back.
Well, there's a lot of parts in this film where she does stand up for herself. She stands up for herself with the guns, going to shoot the guys. In the hotel with Peter Hooten, she's like, fuck you. He's like trying to get her to say something, and she's like, go fuck yourself, you're a pig.
I guess that's also to your point, adding on to what I'm saying, is like, yeah, you're seeing all that shit in the movie. You're like, why did she just let this happen? I mean, it's easier said than done. You're being held against your will.
It's a fucked up thing to say, you let this happen to the victim.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because clearly she tried.
Yeah.
She tried. She ends up like fucking with him because she's like, you know what, Sherman? You are sexy. My goodness gracious, you're the hottest man I've ever seen in my life.
You know what's funny about that?
I missed you. Where have you been?
I'm watching this, and my wife pops in. She hasn't seen the first hour where they literally set this up. And she's like, oh, I love when women do that, like getting the man to believe him. I'm like, well, they've set this up for an hour, hun. But yeah, no, you're right. It is kind of great.
Anaconda.
A little bit. Oh, God, literally.
Baby bird.
Yeah.
So she tricks him and stabs him in the fucking dick.
Yes.
It's awesome.
I love that.
And he's just holding his dick and he like falls against the wall. It's great.
It's great.
Well, he's about to shoot her, and then earlier I mentioned Daniel Baldwin. This guy must have had Daniel Baldwin's fucking filmography on the shelf. He dolphin dives Peter Hooten through this fucking glass door.
Peter Hooten,
like Lover's Lane, kinda,
yeah.
He's like better.
He's like Ben Willis. He jumps through the fucking window and like does a barrel roll. And then shoots Uncle Sherman in the chest like 6 times.
I think he went to school with Chris Sarandon in the police academy, the two of them from Chucky.
Child's Play.
Unbelievably good at spur of the moment shots.
So now you're like, okay, Uncle Sherman's the killer.
Right.
Who's Peter Hooten again?
Well, there's only 2 answers.
And you're like,
we don't know.
Is this the drunk ex-cop ex-husband?
Right.
This took me a long
or
time.
a rando that's also doing some weird shit.
And you're like, why did you do all that shit to her, though, if you were protecting her?
Right.
Yes.
Well,
why
here
did you kill that floozy? Oh,
Yeah.
wait, that's an editing
that's
mistake.
an editing
they
mistake.
fucked up.
And then it's just like, okay, plot dump time. Now the detective and the doctor are walking up the stairs, and the news reporter's like, what the fuck happened? And he's like, well, you see, it was all part of our plan. The Mrs. and Mr. Beck were our guinea pigs, and that's how we decided to catch the killer, by making Mr. Beck beat his wife senseless.
Yeah.
And
she didn't know about it.
to induce the trauma so she would remember who the fuck did it to her in the first place. What kind of sick, fucked up thing is that?
And they're not getting divorced. They're not like reconciled.
No,
I mean, they
they're
hug and
making out
kiss.
They are making out at the end of the movie. She's like, I love you. Thank God my ex-husband beat the trauma back into me so I can come to the realization. And it wasn't even that, by the way. She had to be in the house for it to all trigger.
Yeah.
Well, that's true, right?
Ooh,
it was
good
actually
point.
Sherman in the long
Yeah,
run.
Right.
yeah. So Peter Hooten didn't have to do any of those things.
Good point.
Do you think when they were getting kinky after the fact, like she needed that to get off now?
God, that's so terrible.
Yeah, you know that shit you did when you pretended to be my murderer, my rapist? Why don't you
Yeah.
do that again? I was
Yeah.
really into it.
The whole role
I never
playing
came
shit.
so hard.
Right. Or can she not remember that because she was in like an amnesia
I
state?
would hope. I mean, I'm just getting weird with it because this is the show, but yeah, you would hope she just blocked that out,
Well,
right?
they never really explain it because she's trying to piece this all back together.
Yeah.
And as far as you're concerned, she's just like out of her mind until she has the epiphany at the end. But then you're like, okay, but did you remember all the stuff that just happened? Or did it erase what happened? Because now we're fine with what happened. And now you remember that that's your ex-husband and everything's fine now. And we're going to be just a happy family with little Clarissa.
Right.
Part of it is like the revenge thing, and I guess that's enough. I mean, maybe Claudio didn't want to like dwell on that too long, but yeah, they're in the bed just like giggling with the daughter.
Again, this is all like the end of the movies that don't really make sense, a la Giallos, you know what I mean?
Well, that is a good point, but going back to fucking Troll 2.
Yeah. The stinger at the end.
Many
Here we go.
other horror movies do this. It's not exclusive to just Troll 2. Sometimes they nail this. Friday the 13th. Pretty good one. Nightmare on Elm Street. Don't love it, but classic.
Yeah.
This one, it's
It's
like
a sequel bait. Yeah.
Troll 2.
Yeah.
Speaking of, the mom eats the apple, and it's like, oh no!
Well, this is Troll 2 is after this movie.
Well,
but yeah.
I looked that shit up. They filmed in the same fucking year. They filmed Troll 2 in 89. They filmed this one in 90, so I watched it in that order. So I don't know what the actual. This is like a Devin Rattray, like Home Alone, or Monster Under My. What the fuck's that movie? Little Monsters to Home Alone. Like, how much time was there really?
Not much. They were probably filming back to back.
Sure.
Right. That's why I thought maybe they would have had Bruno Mattei came in because he was filming Troll 2, but now you're saying Troll 2 was first.
Yeah.
It could have been the other way around. Look, he did bangers on this one.
It's somewhere in there between Zombie 4 and Troll 2.
Yeah.
But little Clarissa's like, Mom and Dad, I'm so happy we're a family again. And they're like all in bed and they're doing, I don't know, they're tickling each other or something.
It's Christmas, by the way, remember?
It's Christmas morning or Christmas Eve.
They're having a great back and forth, too. It's like,
great
time heals all. Or whatever.
Everything's cool now, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
We also don't find out if Sherman's wife is getting arrested. I was thinking about that.
Will you ever forgive me?
Of course I will.
Yeah.
Even when you were torturing me, the sex was still great.
Yeah.
I think I remember who you are. Maybe she doesn't remember the drinking part.
Doctor Strange? Right, yeah, now he's
Right,
sober.
He put the mystical wonder on her, so now she doesn't know.
And then he's like, will Clarissa be okay after seeing all
Which
this?
is, you should be thinking that, right?
Sure. So
Yeah.
she gets out of bed. She's like, can I go to my
did she
room
see?
now?
Yeah.
So she goes up to her room and she opens this package from Uncle Sherman.
So good.
And she
slow
opens it
mo.
and she's like, oh my goodness. Cut to
I thought it was a bomb, by the way.
Yeah, I thought they were going to explode and all die. I thought they were going to explode. Or it was like somebody's severed head or something.
Right, that was my other fault.
Turns out it's the mask. And she puts it on in the mirror.
haunted mask?
The haunted mask. That's what Christina was saying in the beginning. You tied it up. It was a beautiful MDU because she puts it on and becomes Clarissa Beth. Yeah.
Right, she changed her name to Carly Beth later. She wanted to fit in better. She thought that was a good name.
But she has the mask on. So, like, Sherman gave her a box with the mask in it. So was he planning to reveal this to Melanie on Christmas Day? Because he's like, don't open that till Christmas Day. Did he, like, know this was all going to happen?
There's so much.
Maybe he just thought that gift would just fucking sit there and no one would ever think anything of it because the mother's either dead or in an insane asylum. And it's just like, well, there's a gift here. We're not going to really open that while we're going through the house. Just get rid of it, I guess, or give it to her.
I don't know why he gives it to
He's
her.
a sicko.
Yeah, he is a sicko.
He is a sicko.
And he does a lot of weird stuff that we don't understand. And one is, to obviously, I mean, this is, going to scare the the daughter. Like
Yeah.
it's to torture the next generation, the next
Right.
Melanie Beck
And then
of the world.
that last plot twist comes.
Night Killer, the next generation.
Oh my God! Yeah,
4?
Night Killer. It'd be Evil Dead 7, La Casa 3.
Don't open that door.
Don't
for her.
open that door 17.
All right.
Don't open the door to her amazing room, which we didn't get to talk about
that's right.
either.
Go ahead.
The production design was
Oh, in
just
the beginning?
iconic. The beginning is like Night Killer over these like
Oh,
really
yeah.
sweet little dolls and teddy bears and a bow on the
Yeah.
over the bed. It's
And
like Night Killer in red.
That Night Killer font is
Yeah.
awesome too.
Yeah.
That title.
I do love how everything's white. They did this a couple times in the movie. Everything's overly white, the locations. And then,
Yes.
like, especially in that little girl's room,
Yeah.
they're like blasting just white lights on top of that
Yeah.
and everything just to really sell, I guess, that it's like, what's the term I'm looking for? Not virgin isn't the right term, but
Right.
like
Pure.
Yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
first pure
Yeah.
moment before all hell breaks loose.
literally, though. Yeah. Which then at the end, when she's in the bedroom, it's not the same. They don't blast it with light, but you have the same kind of feeling.
Yeah, the slow-mo bouncing on the bed.
yeah.
Dropping the
paper.
bag.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's pretty great because you're like the anticipation of what's in the box.
Right.
But we get that last twist, and
Right.
she's like looking in the mirror with the mask on, and she's like, "Hi, Melanie, I'm back." And she starts laughing, and it's like, "Wait, was the kid in on it the whole time?
Oh, wow.
Well, the thing is, that's the trick.
Did she know Uncle Sherman was the killer the whole time? Was he training her?"
I think it's like a Horcrux situation.
Yeah.
Part of his soul is inside that mask. So when she put it on, he took over her body.
It could be.
Or that's her trauma now. Like now
she's-
she somehow absorbed the trauma, but instead of being like the victim, she's gone to the killer side with
Like
the
Jamie
mask.
in Halloween 4.
Right, and I think that's exactly what it is, and that's what they're trying to convey.
Like she's effed up because of everything that happened with her mom,
Yeah.
the alcoholic dad, and she's gonna be a killer now.
Now she's broken.
Which I don't even dislike, but it's like, was she ever like in a room with this guy speaking? Ever?
It's supposed to be visual storytelling.
but then don't ever talk. Don't ever talk then.
No. To like drive the point home. You know what I mean? It's
understand.
hand-fisted, just like most of the things in this movie.
I don't know. You've known me for like, what, 20 years,
Yeah.
Joe? I'm going to nitpick this
Oh,
shit.
of course.
Because I'm like, okay, bitches don't ever talk then. You get the point.
So that's it. Then we get credits. All right. So I know you're familiar with the show. So what we do is this movie on the shelf or is it in the dumpster? And this is kind of like your final thought. So I don't know who wants to go first.
I guess I'll kick
Go
it off.
for it,
This is
baby.
in the fucking dumpster.
Oh,
There's definitely like isn't at the bottom, even though I don't really like it. There's enough entertainment value. This is definitely like I was joking about this with Troll 2 over text with Joe. It's like I didn't like because I never actually watched Troll 2. For years I've been hearing about this fucking movie, never watched it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've seen clips and I've seen it on like bars and stuff, but I never watched it. So I was
Sure.
like, all right, I get it, but maybe I need to watch this in a group setting. So like this one, I don't know if I'd go that far because I think, which I kind of said earlier, I think that the plot actually does kind of make sense when you get to the end, but it just goes like it trips and falls and fucking rolls around and bullshit for like most of the runtime until it gets there that you're just like, I've made the analogy before, but it's like a spider web. You rip it off the wall and you crumble into a ball and you try to take it apart.
it tries to confuse you.
Yeah, I don't think it goes that far because I think it actually, again, I don't want to repeat myself, but I think it does kind of make sense at the end, even if there's a lot of plot holes in there.
Sure.
I don't know. The mask and the glove kind of like really also kind of hurt this movie. I appreciate the cheese factor of that and like the B movie element of it, and a lot of the jokes that they have peppered in here that Claudio, I don't know if he came up with it or his wife came up with, are pretty damn funny. A lot of the one-liners, especially that one Joe mentioned when the guy's coming at Peter Hooten's naked, basically.
Oh my
yelling, I got molested in the
That was
little boys'
pretty
room.
fucking funny.
Yeah.
So there's stuff like that in there for sure, but yeah, not quite at the bottom of the dumpster. Definitely in the middle somewhere. Definitely covered in some of that Troll 2 slime.
Yeah.
A Shamrock Shake from Uncle Grimace.
there you go, man.
He just unloaded right in that dumpster. He didn't even call Lubden or Grimace. He just jacked off till there was nothing left, and it landed on this film. And honestly, I think the killer of this movie would probably be kind of thrilled about it based on the way he fondles things. He's gonna pull it out here and fondle the disc, feel that plaster, wax, whatever on the disc, and he could take it home with him.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
I don't know.
After watching this film 3 times so far in this last year.
Three times
This
in
year.
life or in the row?
In life.
Okay.
Yes, in life. After watching
more
this
than
film
me.
this year,
Yeah.
a magical to be find. It found me, I like to say. It found me. So this is going on the shelf.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
this is going on the shelf. I'm trying to program this. I'm trying to bring this to light. We got to get a bunch of people to see this.
That's the way to do it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I want this film to go viral. I want to unpack this film more.
Yeah. You gotta have chicken.
Watch it.
You gotta have chicken and a gun, have a live part of it. Yeah.
Someone needs to re-release the soundtrack.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Maybe TerrorVision will get on that.
Yeah, someone. I'm excited for this film. I do actually want it on my shelf. I'm gonna go home and order it from a Severin.
Severin has it, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There was just a lot of exciting things to me about this project in particular. Production design, special effects, everything. The twists. I don't know. It just has everything that I want. I like Melanie Beck more and more every time I see the film. When I was Googling the film, whatever, I can say that here, right? Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
Yeah. I was doing research on the film and someone, I don't know if it was a writer from Bloodthirsty magazine or Bloody Disgusting. Sorry. Bloody Disgusting. Someone was saying that it's like a Franken film, which I never heard that term ever. And I thought it was really cool. And then after talking about it with you guys and seeing all the different references to it, I'm like, wow, I really understand it now, how this film is referencing so many of our favorite classic horror films. And that's 100%. Kind of fun too.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And that's my take.
There you go. This is definitely on the shelf for me. I'm a big fan of Claudio's work and Rosella's work, and I haven't seen Night Killer as much as I've seen some of their other films. I wouldn't say this is Claudio's best. I actually think Beyond Darkness is really good. Have you seen that one? You definitely got to check that out. But
pantomiming towards Evil Dead 5.
Or maybe I have. It was just another title.
It's a supernatural esque movie.
Okay. I mean, sign me up. I think I'd rather cover Evil Dead 1, 2, or 3 first, just on what's the term I'm looking for? Principle alone. But hey, fuck it, skip to 5.
Yeah, that's all right. But yeah, Night Killer is such a good time. I think you said it perfectly. It's everything that folks like us want in a movie, and especially if you're a fan of Troll 2 or Monster Dog or Crawlers or any of the other, or Shocking Dark or Robowar or any of the Italian ripoff stuff, this is definitely one to add to the docket because it hits all the notes that you want. You have a serial killer. There's Giallo themes. The cinematography is pretty damn good considering the budget for the film, and even the special effects that Bruno Mattei went back and put in.
I mean, they are good.
They're not incredible, but it ups it. And for this movie in particular, like I mentioned earlier in the episode, you have these goofy one-liner things that aren't necessarily supposed to be one-liners, but the acting is so bad sometimes that you laugh at it, which is fun to do. But there's a lot of very serious things going on in this movie amongst all this other goofy shit happening. And again, this twisty turny plot stuff is just insane. But also to your point that I wanted to bring up, Melanie's character is such a strong woman character in this film specifically because she's not taking any fucking shit from any of these dudes. She's cutting motherfuckers. She's getting up after being brutally assaulted and still coming after this dude. She tells Peter Hooten to go fuck himself. She's shooting holes in fucking doors.
That's true.
She makes him strip down and almost kills him in a fucking bathroom. Yeah. It's pretty rad shit. So
I guess I wish she didn't get amnesia. She could have done some more badass stuff, but then half the movie doesn't happen.
Well, then half the movie doesn't happen. Yeah. But I guess my point is she's not painted in a negative light per se, which is really cool to see. And I wonder if that was a Rosella thing, for her writing it. She's writing the strong woman character and kind of having to battle with things like dudes coming into the bathroom and trying to rape you and crazy shit like that, or it's the early 90s, so we're coming right off shit like Ted Bundy and all that shit, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So everybody's still scared for their lives and being alone and women being alone and stuff like that. So that it's kind of a freaky thing to kind of look at it that way rather than just a B movie. You know what I mean? So I think it's great. It's a lot of fun. The mask is so fucking stupid, and I love it.
It is.
It's great. So yeah, on the shelf for me, man.
Totally get it. Like I said, maybe I'll watch it again, but maybe I'll go back to Troll 2 instead, one I liked less.
Best enjoyed with a big group of people.
Yes.
And maybe a couple cocktails. It's a lot of fun for sure.
Shamrock Shake.
Oh,
There you
could
go.
be. Yeah, boozy Shamrock Shake.
Wait, could this be a perfect, speaking of her resilient character as a woman despite these attacks and assaults and all that, would this be a good tie-in for the Girls Like Horror keychain light whistle prize?
I think that's pretty excellent. So we're going to give away something right now, and Christina's going to tell us what it is.
Should I pull it out?
Yeah, take it out. Let's see it.
This is actually a great tie-in to what we were just talking about the Melanie Beck character. Perhaps this is Melanie Beck. I mean, this is just like divine timing that I got this new merch in last night.
It's pretty sweet.
But our latest Girls Like Horror merch, custom merch, is this keychain light whistle.
Oh.
So if you're like in trouble or somebody's coming after you, and if some weird guy in a Freddy Krueger mask is coming after you, you blow that fucking whistle.
Blow that whistle, or if you're trying to find the lock to your door.
Yep.
Speaking of locking yourself in, we got a cool red light, and we are going to be selling these at all of our events.
I love that.
It's fun, it's creepy, but it's also for your protection.
Yeah, it's useful. I love that idea. That's such a cool. When you showed that to me before, I was like, we got to give one of these away. This is too cool.
Yes.
So to win the Girls Like Horror keychain, go over to our Instagram and we'll show you how to win it there. So we just want to say thank you so much, Christina, for joining us. We had such a good time talking about Night Killer. Can you remind everybody where they can find Girls Like Horror?
Yeah, so you can find Girls Like Horror on our Instagram page, which is just at Girls Like Horror, our website, girlslikehorror.com, and sign up for our newsletter. I send one out every Friday, and I list all the events upcoming, all of our friends' events upcoming, links to cool playlists, YouTube, Spotify, all that good stuff. And we have a series of upcoming events. On the 12th of April, we're doing a cemetery tour with Mount Vernon Cemetery.
Which sounds so cool.
Yeah, Not to Be Missed, Dance Party with Riot Nerd, May 31st. And then we have a really exciting event that I'm not going to quite release right now, but with Movie John on June 19th, a really special event for them with a really special classic horror that we all love. I'm not going to say it.
Ooh.
And then something very special, female directed horror in August that we got to program. And we're doing something with Puff, Philadelphia Unnamed Film Festival in October. I mean, it's just,
you got all kinds of good stuff.
We are here. So just stay posted to the website. I post all the events, and plenty of ways to find us. And you can DM me with any questions or concerns.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
For sure. So definitely go check out Girls Like Horror. And if you want some more Movie Dumpster content, you can head over to patreon.com/movie dumpster. You can get an ad-free audio version of the show for only $2 a month and some other great stuff at the $5 and $10 tiers. We also have a YouTube membership where you can sign up. You don't get everything from the Patreon, but you get some other stuff from the Patreon. So it's like Patreon Lite almost. So if you want to do that, you can help support your favorite show.
And if you're watching here on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe if you aren't already, and share it with your friends to get the word out on the show. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast app, please leave us that 5 stars, a like, and a review if you got time. Only a sentence even, that helps. Get the word out to more people, grow this dumpster community, and get more people in here. Listen to the show. Get it in your eyeballs, your eardrums. You know the fucking routine by now. I've been saying it long enough. Get it out to more people.
Yeah, those reviews help more than everything. So if you could do that for us, that'd be great. If you want some more Movie Dumpster stuff, like we got stuff for the store, if you want to buy a hat or a shirt or something, or find out what the Dumpster Boys are doing, you can get over to moviedumpsterpodcast.com. We have a calendar there. This is all of our upcoming events. We got CVW coming up, Crypt Video Wrestling at Neshaminy Creek in Croydon, PA on April 4th and 5th. You do not want to miss that. Lard Humongous is going to be there as a special guest, and so is the legendary Al Snow. There's going to be tons of great vendors and a couple movies that are showing there. I think it's Over the Top and Ready to Rumble, so that's going to be a great time.
We'll see you out there.
So that's it. That's Night Killer from 1990, directed by Claudio Fragasso and Bruno Mattei. I'm Joe Lascola.
I'm Sean O'Rourke.
And I'm Christina Acevedo, founder of Girls Like Horror.
Thanks for visiting the dumpster.